Hey guys, what is going on, and welcome to the video. So in this video, I'm going to be going over a bunch of opportunities that I see in the stock market, just a bunch of stocks to watch overall, some updates on some current trades, and what sectors that I'm looking at to get hot next. So let's get to it quick. We have a lot of stocks to talk about in this video, so let's get into it. So first off, these stocks are in no particular order, just bringing up a bunch of opportunities that I see in the market. So the first stock I'm going to be talking about is OPES. This is OPES Acquisition Corp, and this is the merger with BurgerFi, and this merger is going to complete on Thursday morning. The ticker of OPES will change to BFI for BurgerFi, and just fundamentally, if you compare this company to a company like Shake Shack, a very alike company, both restaurant and both burger places with great growth. I've had videos of this comparing the two in the past. BurgerFi is just very fundamentally undervalued for the growth, revenue, and sales that this company is going to have. And I think this stock is an absolute steal under $15 where it's sitting right now, and warrants are an absolute steal as well. I was buying both very heavy today on this big dip. Alright, so next up, some sectors that I'm liking a lot right now is first off the cannabis sector. The cannabis sector is getting hot again. Today I actually sent out a tweet right when CGC had a reversal off of the $25 support level. I got into a starter position of some calls. Those calls are now up huge. The reason because this sector is getting hot right now is because of McConnell's statements on Biden, pretty much saying that Biden is confirmed as the president. So this is going to lead to the renewable sector getting hot again, potentially EVs and EV charging get hot again, and then cannabis getting hot again. So CGC took off today. TIlray, ticker symbol TLRY. This is one that I also added today, and after hours, there's news of an acquisition that they're having with APHA. So TIlray is up huge after hours. I have not sold yet. I'm going to ride it out for the upside tomorrow. Most likely take profits tomorrow, depending on what we get. I think there's a good chance for a short squeeze, and we could see $10 plus tomorrow. So I'm very bullish on TIlray. The weed sector in general, I do think this will get hot again leading into January as there's more vote dates coming up. There's potential legalization in more states and everything like that. So I'm very bullish on the cannabis industry. Another sector that I'm bullish on, it actually got hot today, is the solar sector and renewable energy sector. So a stock that I'm liking a lot as a potential breakout candidate is Flux Power Holdings, ticker symbol FLUX. So this is a stock that's testing its upper resistance again, its highs for the year. And if it does break this and hold above this resistance, I think this stock would absolutely take off. And I do think this could follow in Clean Sparks, ticker symbol CLSK, another stock that I like a lot, but it has run up a lot. I do think there's a very good chance that it runs in CLSK's footsteps. So overall, two sectors that are going to start to get hot, in my opinion, is the cannabis sector, renewable sector, and a sector that's been hot and may be slowing down right now. This is the psychedelic sector with all the shroom stocks. So a stock that I got in last week is HAVN Life Sciences, ticker symbol HAVLF. So this stock is holding support at 80 cents right now. I'm still holding my full position. Now if it does break below 80 cents, that is where I'll just take my profits and be done with it. And if the rest of these psychedelic stocks do continue to show weakness, I will just take my full profits. Today, when it started showing weakness, I sold half my positions in LKYSF and MMEDF. And this is more towards the beginning of the day. Now I do think there's a good chance they fill the gap back up as people chase on these stocks that haven't been in them, but there's also a good chance that the momentum is dead and they do start dumping from here. So I did sell half. I am still holding half my positions and holding full on HAVN Life Sciences, and we'll just play it by ear, see how it looks tomorrow, depending on whether I take full profits or let them keep riding out. Alright, so now we can take a look at some charts I'm liking a lot right now. First off, Sportmans Warehouse, ticker symbol SPWH. This is one that's getting a reversal right at the $11 support. It's oversold here, due for a bounce, and I do think we could see a bounce, a potential run up to $14 to $15. But for this stock, I just think this is overall a pretty low risk swing. Solid upside potential. Next up, Overstock, ticker symbol OSTK. This is stock that is primed to break out. Today it was up huge, getting ready for the breakout. I think the stock could see $80 to $90 very, very quickly if it does break out and the market does overall stay bullish. This is a very quick moving stock, so keep an eye on this. Next up, SPI. As we know, this is a huge runner. So this in the past has ran up to over $40, as we can see on this chart. But zooming closer, we can see that this stock has repeatedly had pops, but once it does pop, it does have a dump. So a pop could definitely happen again, but a lesson that we've learned in the past for this stock is once it does have a huge pop, take profits immediately because a dump is going to happen. But for this chart, it does look like it's starting to bottom out. The chart is starting to curl up. But on this chart, I do think we can see a potential run back up to the $10 to $12 range and the potential for that upside of the pop. Keep an eye on that because anything can happen. Any big announcement will send this stock to the sky once again. So the risk reward is pretty solid as the chart is starting to bottom out, finding support level here as it has held in the past. So I do like the risk reward. Next up, Heritage Growth Properties, ticker symbol SRG. This is a super heavily shorted stock. And now that we do have this reversal off the support line, I do think this stock is bound for a run back up to the $18 range. Reason because this stock is such heavily shorted, these shorts will be covering, and I do think this stock will just have a pretty easy upside to run, but I wouldn't bet on it breaking out. I would just bet on it filling the gap back up to the $18 to $19 range. I do think this is a pretty low risk swing, with a stop loss obviously being right under the support. Next up, Sundial Growers, ticker symbol SNDL. This is one that has found support right at 45 cents. Since then, it is starting to fill the gap back up to where it was. And this is one that is going to be in the hot sector if the cannabis sector does get hot once again, so keep an eye on this one. It is one of the biggest potential runners, one of the highest volume stocks in the entire market, so this can make a big move very quickly. So of course, keep an eye on Sundial. Next up, let's talk about a very overbought stock in my opinion. This is StitchFix, ticker symbol SFIX. So this has recently ran from $35. They beat earnings. It ran all the way up to $64.86 at its highs. Right now it's starting to consolidate, and I think this stock is due for a huge jump. Now, the reason that it's ran up so much is, yes, they had good earnings, but the earnings were not 80% pop stock worthy. The reason because of this run up is because of the short squeeze. This stock had about a 40% short float. Once this earnings beat, this stock just continued to run, continued to squeeze shorts, but it's getting to the point where it's just such overbought. It's over 85 on the RSI indicator. So this stock is due for a big pullback in my opinion. Today I did start getting into some puts, just playing the short-term move that I expect back down to the $55 to $50 level. Now, of course, this is always risky to play puts, but just the fact that it's so overbought all around, I do think that it is due for a pretty big size pullback. Now, I have nothing against the company, just on the technical level, and no stocks then go straight up 7 days in a row without being due for a pullback. I do think the stock is due for a very, very big pullback. So next up is a stock that I've been talking about for a while, Activision Blizzard, ticker symbol ATVI. This stock has continued to break out of the trend line. Now this is one that I'm targeting $89 for profit taking time. And just into the holiday season, this is expected to have a lot of hype with all the new consoles coming out. With all the potential gifts of being video games, the sector has been pretty hot as well. So Activision, this is one where I'm looking to take profits very soon. It does have that resistance level at $89. For me personally, I'll probably be looking to secure profits at $88, $87 in that range, but it is getting to the point where I'm happy to take profits anytime now. Next up, NIO, ticker symbol NIO. This stock is looking very, very strong. A confirmed breakout, a confirmed reversal. This is when it'll get back up over the $44 resistance line that it could not break yet today, and it gets back over that 180 SMA, which is that yellow line on the chart. So once it gets over those, I do think that it's due for a run back up to the mid-50s. I've been adding some more January calls for the potential run up to NIO Day, and this is one of my favorite upside positions. I do expect a reversal and breakout for the remainder of the week. So next up, Rocket, ticker symbol RKT. This is one that I had in my top 3 stock video for December. So this has broken out of the trend line, exactly what we were looking for. Now it has 2 resistance lines before it has clear skies above. So the first one is $22.50. It has been struggling at this point for a while now, but once it does break this point, it should be on a run to $24. Now 24 is the next resistance line. If it does break $24, that's when we could see $25 plus, which is my personal target. This is a mid/longer term trade for me. We are seeing what we need to see. The potential for stimulus would obviously rocket this stock up, one of the biggest beneficiaries of stimulus, which is looking more and more likely day by day. Now, of course, if we did not get stimulus, this stock would be very hurt. So that's the risk with it, but the chart is looking very strong. So another chart that is looking likely for reversal is Barrick Gold Corporation, ticker symbol GOLD. Now this is a gold mining company. It's finding a double bottom at $22.50. Now it should be due for a gap up and run back up to the $24 range. If it does break back above that level, I'll be looking for the high 25s. But this is not a huge upside stock. This is one that's just overall pretty low risk all around and should be due for a pretty easy reversal and bounce up off this level with clear support and resistance lines. So next up, a stock that was also my top 3 stocks for December video. This is XLE, the energy sector, oil and gas. So this stock has been holding the 180-day SMA as support. It is still on the uptrend. Now this is one that I have been recommending to take profits on the pops, buying back on the dips because oil and gas is so volatile all around. But we did start to see that break up to 42. We got rejected at 42, back down to $40. Now the next level I'm looking for it to break is $40.67. Once we do break back above that level, I do think we see the high 41s again. Once we see that, we should see 42. And if we were to get stimulus, I think the stock immediately goes to $43 plus. and then it runs up to the mid to high 40s. So this is a trade that I'm still in, but I'm still scalping, taking profits on the pops, buying back on the dips, because that's what you have to do with volatile stocks like that to be able to get max profits. So next up, the final stock that was in my video for the top 3 stocks of December 2020. This is Hyliion, ticker symbol HYLN. This stock's been getting hammered recently, down below $16 today. Now this is a stock that I did cut a loss on all short-term positions, but I still am holding a substantial size position just in shares for the long term. I'm not worrying about short-term volatility. Once it does find a confirmed bottom and reversal, that's where I'll be looking to get back into some call options potentially. But as of right now, I'm not worried about the volatility. I'm not worried if it drops more. I'm just staying patient with my position in shares, staying on the sidelines for now for adding to the position. But this is a company that I believe in the management team. This is a company that I believe will come up with partnerships and PRs in the coming months. So I'm still overall confident in the position. The technicals have looked very weak. So for that reason, I did end up cutting all my short-term positions. But like I was saying, my long-term position is still have not sold a single share of my long-term position, have only added. So a stock that's fixing to break out for a big breakout, this is Amazon, ticker symbol AMZN. As we can see, it's been trading inside this wedge. Once it does break out of this wedge and hold above, I think the stock is due for a huge move. I think we could see $3,500 plus if and when it does break out of this wedge. Now e-commerce is expected to have a huge holiday season. Amazon should obviously be the leader. And with an amazing technical setup like this, if it does break out, just be ready for an absolutely massive move. Another stock that has been forming a wedge, Facebook, ticker symbol FB. This stock went from very red today and it closed the green, so very strong signs of strength. Holding within this pattern, this is one that I'm looking for the breakout as well above the wedge, and then we'll look for a big potential run. As of now, it is consolidating. The buy-in points are at the bottom of the wedge, and breakout point is when it breaks and holds above that top resistance line, the top wedge line that is downtrending. So next up, Splunk, ticker symbol SPLK. This is one that just took a bounce off the pattern. Now I do expect that we see a run back up to 170. After 170, we should see 180 per share, and that's where I'm looking to take short-term profits, and I am still interested in holding a long-term position, as I do see this stock long-term getting back to $200 plus pretty easily at some point in 2021. Next up, a stock that's fixing to break out and have a big gap up. This is Beyond Meats, ticker symbol BYND. Once it does break above this $142 resistance line, which has been getting rejected at repeatedly, but it is consolidating right under this line. And any day now, I think we get the breakout and the potential gap up to $150 to $160 would be my target for this stock. Now, this is one of my favorite setups that I'm looking to add heavy. Whenever it does consolidate that close to the resistance line, that's when you know that it's due for a breakout. If it was consolidating close to the support line at 120, that's when we could be worried about a breakdown. But just the fact that this stock does want to break out, it has repeatedly tested this line, and I believe that any day now we do get the breakout, the big gap up. So for that reason, I'm very interested in adding some more calls in BYND. So a stock that I talked about in this week's video on Sunday, this is Hanesbrands International, ticker symbol HBI. The chart is curling, it is showing strength, and I still do think we get that gap up to $16 per share. This is one that I'm still very bullish on the setup. Next up, Dermtek, ticker symbol DMTK, another one that I talked about on the Sunday video. We had a huge gap up yesterday. We got rejected at the resistance line for the wedge once again, and it is probably going to consolidate in this area. What I'm watching for the big breakout is over that downtrending resistance line. Once we do break that, I think we get a short squeeze and a huge run up to potentially the $20 range. So that's what I'm looking for with a DMTK. Next up, the final stock that I talked about in the Sunday video. This is Spirit Aerosystems, ticker symbol SPR. Now this is one that broke under the support short term, but it did bounce back over the support today. It is showing lots of strength, and we did get that hammer candle. Technicals are showing bullish divergence as well. So at this point, I do think this stock will break out very soon. It is due for a bounce and a potential run up. So for this position, the thesis is still intact. I'm looking to add back to this position as long as it keeps on holding above $37 per share, and then be ready for the big potential gap up, and especially if we were to get stimulus, I think the stock goes wild. Now, if we don't end up getting stimulus, this is where the stock gets hurt, and I would be cutting loss immediately. And especially for all travel stocks, I would be all the way out of travel stocks if the stimulus does get rejected, if it doesn't pass. But if the stimulus does pass, travel will be one of the biggest beneficiaries. So travel right now, high risk, high reward definitely, as it all is heavily dependent on stimulus news. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts on these stocks down below. Let me know your favorite stocks that you're buying now. If you want to join the private stock group, that link is down below. Every time I buy and sell a stock, I send an alert to the group. I answer any questions you have, and you can talk to any other group members, ask any questions, and anything like that. So if you're interested, that link is down below, the first link in the description. If you want to get 4 free stocks on Webull, $10 free worth of Bitcoin on Coinbase, or $5 free on Acorn Investing, those links are down below as well. They are affiliate links, so it does help support the channel, and I would greatly appreciate that. Subscribe, like the video if you haven't already. I would appreciate that so much. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Let's have a good day tomorrow. Let's make some money, and good luck, everybody. Let's get rich.